So this morning I saw that Bleacher Report put together an article where they were grading every single NBA team so far throughout the season. I did not read their article, but instead I wanted to create my own. Grade all 30 teams based on the sample size so far. And maybe we do this again later in the season, because me personally, there have been times where I had a D plus with a couple weeks left of the semester, then I really put that work in and got it up to a C minus. Eligible hooper right here. I'm saying that to say that these grades will forever be shifting. A team could go on a very hot run and boom, they go from a C minus team to a B plus team and whatever. Also do have to say that the grading scale does shift depending on the team that we're talking about. A team could be really below 500, but we give them a good grade because they've done some of the small things, progressing their talent and so on and so forth. A team could be above 500, get a bad grade because that above 500 might be way less than what we anticipated for that team. This is also always an open conversation, so you let me know in the comment section what you would grade your favorite team. Let's get into it. This video is brought to you by Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutritional goals easier by bringing you fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Every single week, they put out a new menu of 35 different options. 35 different options is kind of insane. We in our household have dietary restrictions. We can still have Factor because they have so many different categories. Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. They also have over 60 add-ons every single week, like breakfasts and snacks and smoothies, things like that. Sometimes I'm working so much that I forget to eat lunch, and Factor just makes it so easy to get my nutrition in. It was lunchtime. We got a cavatappi and Italian-style pork ragu. All I gotta do is take it out the sleeve and just poke it with a bunch of holes. Then you pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes. So all done, took 2 minutes, and it looks delicious. Look delicious, didn't it? Well, I have a way for you to get some of them good eats. All you gotta do is hit the link in the description. Use code Kenny50 so you can get 50% off your first box with free shipping. And then that second box in the next month is 20% off. Come on, man. There's no reason for you not to dive in. Shout out to Factor again for sponsoring this video. So I color coordinate them for you. If you got an A minus or A plus, you got in the green. Then we get like this orangey for the blues. We get the yellows for the C's. And I'll be honest with you, if you got a D or an F, I'm not putting D minus, D plus. Brother, you got a lot of work to do. You feel me? A D means, damn, you are behind. And an F means, forget about it. The season is over. You know what I'm saying? So we're starting off with the Atlanta Hawks. They're having a really surprising last couple weeks. It started off really rough. Everybody's going to point to those losses against the Washington Wizards, but we can point at all the great wins, like the 2 times versus the Cavs, the 1 time versus the Boston Celtics, and the NBA Cup semifinals versus the New York Knicks. This team has been better than I anticipated. I'm going to put them I think I'm putting them at the B to start off with. NBA Cup game, semis are today, so we'll see what they end up doing. They could be the Cinderella story, I don't know. The Boston Celtics have to go easily to an A+. They were the champions of last season, and they still look like the best team in basketball. The Brooklyn Nets are probably going B+ here, man. Now, they've definitely started to come down to earth as of recently, but they were one of the surprise teams for the first month of the season. This is a team that had an over-under of, I think, 17.5 wins. And right now, they already got 10. They're 10-15. And eventually, they will start selling, right? Some of those guys that are playing really well this season won't be on the team next year. But they showed us that Jordi Fernandez is going to be one of the better coaches across basketball. He already has instilled some type of culture in this ragtag group of players. I really like the direction. They got their own draft pick this season. I'm a lenient score. I think they both deserve to be B+ here. Yeah, Charlotte Hornets, 7-18. It's hard for me to give them anything other than a D. LaMelo Ball has the 3rd highest usage in the tracking era, only behind MVP Russell Westbrook and the year after MVP James Harden. It's kind of insane. He's leading the league in 3-pointers attempted, and all of these type of random statistics. They are really struggling though. I mean, some of it for like some of the other teams we're going to talk about is not their own doing, where they just haven't been able to be healthy at all. Like, I don't think their projected starting lineup has played a single second together, which is not their fault. But I can only grade the things that I've seen, so I'm putting them in the D tier. The Bulls are going to go right above them at a C-. Nobody even knows what the direction is. I know we get the rumors about them having Vooch in the trade market or Zach LaVine in the trade market, but since nothing has happened just yet, they're very mediocre. And mediocre in the Eastern Conference means that we could be a couple games below 500 and still be the 10th seed, which is nothing that the Bulls fan base wants. We want to pick a direction, and that direction is being really bad. Cleveland Cavaliers have to go to an A+. We made a video predicting the NBA standings. I had them as the 2 seed this regular season. They are better than that. They are way better than I even could have anticipated as a guy that was telling y'all, chill out, don't trade Darius Garland, don't trade Jared Allen. Let's just get a good coach in there and see what happens. Where that good coach has shifted the culture completely. They do everything right. They're on a string offensively and defensively. They deserve an A+. Dallas Mavericks, I'm giving them an A- for that one stretch where they were without Luka Doncic for 5 games and they really piled it on. They really look really good. And I know the lasting memory of them right now is them losing to the OKC Thunder in the NBA Cup game. But before that, they had won, I think, 9 of their last 10. Luka Doncic, since he came back from his injury, was looking like the MVP version of himself. Kyrie Irving is having an all-time efficiency year for himself. A lot of the role players, whether it be Spencer Dinwiddie, looks closer to the last version of him when he was on the Dallas Mavericks. Najee Marshall's come in and play his role. Quentin Grimes has been an amazing pickup that was a throw-in. A lot of things are gelling well for our Western Conference defending champions. Is that how you say it? Yes. Okay, cool. Denver Nuggets, I have to put C, maybe? C? Yeah, C. Sitting at 13-10. A team that has the best player in the world, but still we're very iffy about the rest of the roster. They can have a stretch where, like the game tonight that I just watched, where Brody got his revenge against the Clippers, which we absolutely love. And they dominate that team, but we also have games where they go against other good competition and they can't hold the water of that other team. So I'm putting them in the C tier. They probably have the biggest variance where we do this 3 weeks down the line, 2 months down the line. They could be significantly higher, but right now I can't give them anything higher than a C, and even a C might be somewhat generous. I'm a generous grader. Detroit basketball, they've been better, but still not great. But when you compare it to a team that lost 28 straight games, how do you grade it? I think part of it all was they just wanted to see their team look better. And Cade and Jaden Ivey have done that. Some of the other players on the team have done it. Now, they did just get the goddamn wheels blown off of the wagon when they played against the Celtics a couple nights back. I think I'm putting them in the C- tiers as well, significantly higher than the F tier that they was in last season. So you take that if you're Detroit, I guess. The Golden State Warriors have seen so many ups and downs. When they were at the top, everything was kumbaya, 13-man rotation. And since then, things have really, really fallen down to earth. I can't give them anything higher than a C. Houston Rockets has to go really high A. I'm thinking maybe even A+. You got to think about it, man. This is a team that, in my opinion, ceiling was, hey, we're going to make the play-in. We're going to make some noise, maybe win a game or two in the play-in, maybe get a first-round series, and then we're going to put our names on the map. As of today, they're sitting at the 3 seed. I guess I'm super generous. I think you have to go A+. When you think about what the expectations were for this team and how they've blown it out of the water without anybody on their team taking a superstar jump. Like Alperen Sengun should be an all-star this season, but it's not like he turned into Jokic overnight. It's really been culture, coaching, and everybody buying in, which is, like, in my opinion, a perfect type of team to really construct. I think I got to give it an A+, man. They're one of the NBA darlings, if you ask me. I really enjoy watching them play, the defensive-minded team, and that's without, like, one of their top players, Fred VanVleet, having a good statistical season, even though he can give you 38 against OKC 2 weeks ago, hit a bomb of a 3, but he also is just a field general, which we love. We might get a lot of A+, bro. Again, we might get a lot of A+. Indiana Pacers has to go C-, man. It has to go C-. They got a big win against the 76ers tonight. And in that game, Tyrese Halliburton looked amazing, 30-11. I want to say 32-11, which is a good sign. But overall, when you think about them making it to the conference finals last season and see how they backed it up, this is extremely disappointing. And they also have good variance. Maybe they turn it up and they figure some things out. But as of today, I got to go C-. Clippers, I'm putting in B. Things were a lot better a couple weeks back, but now they're in a 3-game losing streak, which is not ideal. But the fact that they still have not seen a single second of Kawhi Leonard and they're able to say that, hey, after this loss, they're no longer. I'm looking at the standings. They lost to the Nuggets, but they were a top 6 seed when I started this video. They're no longer top 6. Oh, that one loss dropped them. Oh man. Hey, Kawhi Leonard has not played a single second, and still they're competitive. And I think, I didn't expect that at all. The moment I heard that Kawhi Leonard's going to miss some time, I'm like, oh, this team is a 12 seed. This team is a 13 seed. And they've been significantly better than that. Again, they're starting to come back down to earth, but the fact that they did have that stretch where they were able to beat up on some teams and get some wins here or there, and they're just waiting for the moment for Kawhi to come back, I got to at least give them a B tier. LA Lakers. Whew. At the max, it has to be a C. It's got to be a C-. It's got to be a C-. Started off amazing. JJ Redick, coach of the year, first 2 weeks through the season. Boom, he's got it. He's done it. All they needed was a new coach. Darvin Ham was the problem. Yada this, yada that. The reality was Darvin Ham was part of the problem, but not the whole problem. The problem is the front office. The problem is the roster, and you're starting to see that more and more every single game. LeBron James is out for personal reasons. They don't know when he's going to come back. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. We have seen Bron kind of take some time off before, where he kind of dipped out on the cast for like a week and it came back and he was rejuvenated and he was dunking on people again. So I don't know exactly what's going on. Nobody really knows exactly what's going on for the Lakers with LeBron. But as a whole, this team, after the legendary start, after Anthony Davis was maybe the MVP of the league through the first couple weeks, everything has completely fallen apart. You gotta give it a C- at the max. Memphis Grizzlies, get up there, buddy. I don't even know why I put. Everybody's getting an A+, bro. Everybody getting an A+ or a C-. The Memphis Grizzlies get that one of the most complete teams in basketball from 1 through 13. They have so many real NBA players, and everybody can't say that. Some teams, a lot of teams can say we got 9 of those players. We got maybe 10 of those players. The fact that the Grizzlies have 13 of those dudes without Vince Williams Jr. or G.G. Jackson being a part of the lineup right now is ridiculous. They have a star up top in Ja Morant, who is a field general as well, but also could drop 20 on your head. Desmond Bane has strung together a couple really good games. Jaren Jackson Jr. is looking like the all-defensive version of himself. Jay Huff is getting Huff stuffs. Everything is perfect with the Grizzlies. Shout out to them. They get an A+. The Miami Heat, they're starting to figure some things out. I'm putting it at a C+ at this moment in time. I was pretty high on them going into the season. I just thought that their identity of a defensive-oriented team was stand true, and it didn't start off that way, but they're currently on a 4-game win streak. I think it's 4 in their last 5. They're starting to string some things together, and they're, as of today, the 5th seed, which is pretty good. You'll take that as of right now based on their early start where they were not looking good. Tyler Hero, in my opinion, is an all-star right now, and we're seeing Bam Adebayo slowly start to get back to Bam Adebayo form. Jimmy Butler's having his most efficient year of his career, even though his usage is at the career low. Well, not career low, because the first years of his career, he wasn't on nothing. But it's at as low as it has been as he's been a really good player. But he's efficient as ever, which is it's like a double-edged sword. Not a double-edged sword, but like a give and pull. You're super happy that he's having the most efficient season, but also you want him to get a little bit more engaged, a little bit more a part of the offense and all. I'm putting it at a C+. Milwaukee Bucks might be C+ as well, man. They had that good stretch after a really, really tough start. And now they might be NBA Cup champions. I don't think I could put it higher than a C+ as of today. I still want to see them go against some of the better teams in basketball and take care of business. They had a game against the Celtics last week, which was a good game. They held their own, but they ended up losing ultimately. And now with the NBA Cup, they have a few wins. And now they got Atlanta. And then if they beat Atlanta, they're going to have OKC or Houston. Those type of games can really change, whether it be a C+ or a B- or a B+ or B. I'm going to put them at a C+ as of today. I'm putting the Minnesota Timberwolves at C. It has not been the season that we anticipated. We knew that things would shift at least a little bit after you trade away Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, but I think it's even been worse than I anticipated, and I was a skeptic to start off with. Another team that's starting to figure it out as the season goes on. Their defense has been incredible over the last couple weeks, so the identity that they had built last year is starting to come to fruition after, having some reps of playing for each other. I think in the last 2 weeks, they've only given up 100+ points like 2 times, which is crazy. Like they're holding people to under 90 sometimes, which is elite. But I need a little bit more sample size. Maybe it's good enough to be like here, but I'm comfortable with saying just straight up C. Pelicans go to the F. It's not really their own doing. Nobody can stay healthy. Not a single person. Dyson Daniels just talking about the team is cursed, and I can't even say that he's wrong. I mean, that's what it feels like. Brandon Ingram missed time and then comes back, and then now he's back out with injuries. Zion Williamson, C.J. McCollum, Herb Jones, pretty much everybody. DeJounte Murray, did I say his name already? I don't know. Pretty much everybody that was a part of this rotation has missed time. Jordan Hawkins, after the first couple injuries, Jordan Hawkins looked like a stud, and then he went out with an injury. It's just been over and over and over, and I can't give it anything other than F. The Knicks are a polarizing team, man. I'm B or B. Again, we're talking about the expectations. They are a better team than the Clippers. This is not ranking teams who's the better team. That's not what this is about. But when you think about the expectations, you make these trades, and a lot of people saw them as one of the 3 best teams in the Eastern Conference, and at times they really look like that. Their offense is otherworldly. I mean, they're the most efficient offense in basketball by a good margin. But the other side of that ball is really a struggle. And I talked about this on my podcast, that this Knicks team is different because when the offense is not working, they really, really struggle to find ways to win games. That was not the recipe for last year, where the offense felt like it was never really working, but they outgrinded teams. They did this, they did that. So I'm close to giving it a B minus. I might give it a B because when it is rolling, it is so fun to watch. The offense is that good. So I'll put it in B. OKC has been all that in the bag of chips. Everything that we projected for the OKC Thunder have become real, and it's with them missing Isaiah Hartenstein to start the season, and then Chet Holmgren broke his hip, which is a ridiculous injury, and they still held their own with J-Dub as a 5. Then Isaiah Hartenstein comes back, and now everything is even better. They have been everything as advertised. I can't go anything lower than an A+. Orlando Magic's going to slide in at that A tier, man. I feel like I need one in every tier. I can't lie. I feel like I need one in every tier. I can't lie. They lost Paolo Banchero. Oh, my goodness. He just put up 50. He was averaging this. He was averaging that. They lose him. What are they going to do? Nothing. Franz Wagner's here. Franz Wagner's now an all-NBA player. And then he goes down with his oblique. And since then, they're 1-1. And the one game they lost was the NBA Cup game, but they fought to the very end. This team is all heart, all hustle, all defense, all culture, all love amongst each other. They are basically, if you are an NBA fan, they are like the prototype of the type of team that you want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you want the Celtics because they're the champions. But like, if you are a young team, because it reminds you, the Orlando Magic are still one of the youngest teams of basketball, right? The fact that they could lose an all-star, an all-NBA caliber player like Paolo and still hold their own is amazing. And now they got to do it again without Franz, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I'm looking at the sample size that we have. I got to give it an A. Philly has to go D tier. Philly's got to go D tier. Philly's got to go D tier. Reason I'm thinking about it is because I might want to put them in F tier. We talk about the Pelicans being cursed. The 76ers are somewhat cursed too. I'll say that because even in today's game, it's Indiana Pacers. Things are not, they didn't start off hot. The Pacers did, it was a come from behind type of game. And then he broke his face, right? I just got a report that he broke his face. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. The Suns got to go C-, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe the Suns go C? The Suns go C. They've been I'm really torn between a C or a C minus. They've been so awful without Kevin. Kevin has played, and they've won. I mean, they're currently in a dogfight with the Jazz right now. So actually, I'm taking them to C-. No way you're in a dogfight with the Jazz. Cut it out. Portland has to go D. I think that this could go real high, though. They're just trying to get out of the older guys on the roster and have an opportunity where it can be Donovan Clingan, it can be Shaedon Sharpe, it can be Scoot Henderson, and they can really, really completely buy into the young guys. But as of today, they're not really able to do that. Kings are going to be C- as well. Is that generous? I feel like I'm being generous with some of these C- teams, bro. I feel like I'm being real generous. Why is there so many of them? This team is a 500 team. That stinks. Considering where they want to be, 3C 2 years ago, missed the postseason completely last year. Now they're a 500 team, and 500 team in the Western Conference mean that you missed the play-in, brother. They figured something out recently with Malik Monk being a starter, which is pretty interesting. We got to see exactly if that can hold true to the rest of the season or whatever. But as of today, the Sacramento Kings have been mid-range central. And mid-range central is typically not the recipe to win a ton of NBA games. San Antonio Spurs are probably going to go C tier. You got to remember what the expectations were for them. Even though they're also a 500 team, or maybe even, did they win tonight? They're also in a dogfight as we speak. Thinking about the expectations, remember, the expectations for the San Antonio Spurs were, hey, maybe we make some noise, maybe we make a play-in. And as of right now, they are in the play-in. That's pretty damn good. I might even bump it up when you think about the expectations of what this team wanted to do. Wembanyama has lived up to everything. Chris Paul has come in and helped the young guys out. I'm going to keep it at C, but I can see an argument for them to go higher based on their expectation. D tier for the Raptors. The guys that they paid, Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, those dudes have played like 2 minutes together this year, dog. That's how they've also been dealing with the injuries, man. But they're in a ton of games. I read a few days back, so maybe this is not true anymore, that they've won more quarters than they've lost, and yet they still have the record of 7-19. They've won more quarters than they've lost, but they're still 7-19. That's crazy. Utah Jazz. Oh, snap. Okay, Utah. You know where that's going. Watch the Wizards. I'm actually giving the Wizards a D. You know what I'm saying? It's ugly. It's real bad. I mean, they had, a 10-game losing streak earlier. Oh, my goodness. I add a row beneath F. Let me make sure I do this right. I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta make sure I do this right. I'll do this right. There we go. All right. I think that's my tiers, y'all. I think that's my tiers. Grading every single NBA team through the first 25-ish games of the season, 27 games for the Orlando Magic. You played 27 games so far? The Wizards have played 23. You played 4 more games in the Huh? All right, yeah, like I said, this is an open conversation. What was I too high on? What was I too low on? I don't know. It was just more fun than anything. Leave a like, subscribe.